What's up, Brooklyn Squad? Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Oh, Lord. How's everybody doing today? Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, Karen. Hey. Hey, beautiful. Oh, I feel so tense. Hey, sis. Hey, Shay. What's up, mamita? So, at first, I was going to do one case, right? One case, and that was going to be tonight at 8 o'clock. But then when I said, wait a minute, let me do, let me add two more cases onto this because there's some similarities to the other two cases, right? And I'm pretty sure y'all heard of the other two cases, which is Kendrick Johnson. Thank you, boo. And Ryan Singleton. Now, I don't know if y'all heard of Ryan Singleton before. Y'all probably have. Um, he hasn't been that much out there like Kendrick Johnson has, but he's been out there now. Okay. I won't be able to stay long with mom out. That's fine. No, that's fine. Just hit the thumbs up for me, Karen, please. That's fine. But thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. And then we have Gregory Johnson. Thank you. We have Gregory Johnson. Now, Gregory Johnson, I just got that case. Sorry. I just got Gregory Johnson's case yesterday. And I was like, oh, okay. And when I seen it, I was like, mm. It kind of remind me of Jelani Day. Just a teeny bit. It kind of remind me of Jelani Day. And I think that's why my sub sent it to me, right? I don't know if that's why she sent it to me, but most likely I think that's why, because she know how I feel about that case. So if you're new, welcome. We've been expecting you. And I say that because there's so many cases that's out, right? No, let me refer that. There's so many cases that's not being put out, right? By the police and the media. So us content creators like myself and Karen and Unsolved Delaware and Arctic Fox and other content creators that are, busting their behinds to do this, are putting out these cases so that you guys know what's going on and that you can be aware of your surroundings. Because this shit is real. You know what I mean? We got to be aware of what's going on around us. Okay? So sit back, keep your eyes open, be aware of what's going on, even on the internet. Okay? All right, so let's get into the first case. I'm going to let me get into Gregory. I'm going to get into Gregory. I'm going to leave Ryan and Kendrick last because those two cases are very similar to each other. And why I say that, I'll say that later. You'll see why. But let's get into Gregory Johnson. Okay, hold on. I watch people so much I don't trust anyone, especially these days. I feel you, girl. Yes, you got to be aware of everything around you. Everything. Okay. Uh, Give me 1 minute. Wait a minute. Didn't we do? I don't know. I'm bugging. Hmm. Hold on, y'all. I thought we did him yesterday. Am I tripping out? Hold on, y'all. Oh no, we didn't. Okay. I thought we did him yesterday. Am I tripping out? No, we didn't. Okay. So let me share the screen with you guys. It should just pop up for me. I looked at it before, but okay. Justice for Gregory Johnson. Hmm. Oh, you know what? No, that's not where it is. I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it is. And I am on the right page. I'm on the right one, y'all. But I know who sent it to me. Okay. Okay. This is where we're gonna get into it now. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay. So I say that this remind me of Jelani Day is because he was in a fraternity. Okay. He was in a fraternity. And not only that, guys, he was the only black young guy in that fraternity. The only black person in that fraternity. Yeah. So let me read what it says. A grieving mother, Reverend Johnson, okay, keep that in mind, is counting on me to tell you about her son, Gregory Johnson Jr. Greg was a junior at San Jose University when his life was cut short. He was the only black person living at the Sangma Chief Frat House. Gregory was a strong, handsome young minister. At 20 years age, 6'2" tall, weighed around 200 pounds. His job at Bally Total Fitness was ideal for Gregory, who planned to go into sports medicine. That's another thing where he reminded me of Jelani Day because he had planned into going into that type of field. Jelani wanted to become a doctor, and this young man wanted to begin into that field with medicine. The night Gregory died at his frat house, his mother was not informed for 7 hours, and they were not allowed to identify his body. Reverend Johnson did not see her son's body for 14 days. When she had his remains sent from the funeral and burial, authorities said suicide. But how can a 6 foot tall, inch tall man of a superior strength hang himself from a 6 foot basement ceiling? Why did Gregory fraternity housemates move his body before police arrived? What happened to the extension cord Gregory supposedly used for his Murder. Why did Gregory Caucasian girlfriend refuse to speak to Reverend Johnson about Gregory and his death? Why were there marks on Gregory's neck? Whatsoever, although his head was particularly what? Severe from his oh, whoa, wait a minute. His head was particularly severed from his body at the backbone. Why did his eyeballs not produce in his really why did his eyeballs not produce if he really hung? Why was there a 6 inch gash in the back of Gregory's head with his brain out and out? Wow. I have delayed beginning work on Reverie Johnson's story because it is so like my own brother's cover up murder by police, wrongfully death of LarryNilson.com. Wealthy people and police officers are allowed to commit crimes against working class people, especially African American, and authorities will righteousness cover ups such as some crimes. In fraternities, they have some wealthy and famous aluminum. A couple months after President Obama was elected, Gregory was the only African American living in that San Jose frat house. Supposedly committed suicide under remarkable circumstances. He allegedly hung himself in a basement that was shorter than Gregory. Unexplained head trauma, no neck wounds, no extension cords, no sequest, and authorities refused to give Gregory's family the results of an investigation. And the pathologic who Reverie Johnson hired told her that Gregory's death was not a suicide. He was too timid to put his fingers into his writing thoughts. He kept Reverend Johnson's fee. Wow. I'm sorry, let me say that again. He was too timid to put his findings into his writing, although he kept Reverend Johnson's fee. He kept her money, but he wouldn't say what he felt. He wouldn't put it in writing. But he told her this is not a suicide. There is no justice and no peace for Gregory's family. With my article and radio interview about Gregory's help Reverend and Mrs. Johnson grieving parents who mourn their son and pray for justice, his mother said, they misrepresented my son and made his last act appear to be a crime. Gregory's story was also revealed in other articles by this author, which I'm going to find. Wow. I know my reading sometimes could be a little hectic because I can't pronounce words right, guys, but just the ones that know me on here, been rocking with me for a while, bear with me. You guys already know what it is. The new ones, just bear with me. But wow. So, the only black person at this fraternity, he wanted to go into medicine. Wow. Reminds us of Jelani Day, Shay Shay, and Katie. wanted to go into medicine. He was hung. They didn't call his mother for 7 hours until his death. 7 hours. 7 hours. And when they did call her, they said, Miss Reverend Johnson, and she's a reverend. A reverend. And if I'm not mistaken, he's a pastor. Let me go back. Was he a pastor or a deacon or something? Uh, he was something in that nature. Reverend Johnson did not see her son's body for 14 days. First of all, they didn't call her for 7 hours, and then she didn't see his body for 14 days. And then when she brings him, to the funeral home and stuff like that, they say, oh, it was a suicide. Are you crazy? First of all, there was a gash on his head. He was damaged. Not only the gash, the neck was separated. I mean, come on. And why did his frat brothers move his body before the police got there? Mm-mm-mm. Let me see something. Hold on, y'all. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Pitiful. Damn shame. Damn shame. Why did it? I don't have no idea. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see the comments. Who did it? Someone done this to him. So heartbreaking. It is. It's messed up. Honestly, at this point, none of this cases surprise me anymore. I know, Katie. People are so cold headed and out of themselves. I feel you. I know. What state was this? Let me go back. Uh it says San Jose University. I'm trying to see what state. Where is this at though? Mm-mm. I'm not sure yet what state it is, but I will find out. And you know what? Hold on. I don't know. That's weird. Hmm. I don't know, Mama. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't. Oh, California? Really? California? You sure? Why would y'all think California? What made y'all say California? I mean, I'm not doubting it. I was just wondering what made y'all say California. Cali. I found somebody talking about his story. Y'all want to check it out? Y'all do? I knew y'all was gonna say that. It's a content creator too. Truth and transparency. Let's hear her. I never heard her before. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, let's check her out. Mm. Let me see. Huh. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding her thing on my laptop when I'm right here looking at my phone. crazy. That made no damn sense. Here it is. All I had to do was. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I see something else just now. Oh no. I mean, let's listen to this right here. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, we found his mother, y'all. We found his mother. I found, yeah, we found his mother on another YouTube channel. Let's check it out. Not the channel I was gonna go to. I just was scrolling
University
down.
grounds at the Sigma Chi newly.
Let's check this out. The Lord.
Hi, I'm Denise Johnson. I'm here on San Jose State University grounds at the Sigma Chi newly being renovated house. It did not look like this in 2008 when my son was murdered here, November 22nd, 2008. But they claimed they found his body in the basement, and it would have been that lower level in the back. They claimed that he committed suicide, that he hung himself, but he had no ligature marks on his neck. It took me 13 days to get him home because they would not let me view his body. The coroner wouldn't here in Santa Clara County. And it took me 13 days. When he got to the funeral home, I took pictures, and he had a 6-inch long crack on the back of his head that was oozing brain matter. And his neck was also broken. It wasn't from a hanging. He had no marks, no bruises. Impossible from a hanging. That's impossible. But his neck was broken. We've been fighting this for the last 5 years. We've gone on board with Lawless America, and we hope to take this further than the state of California, because we will never give up in finding who killed my son. I was waiting for justice to work, and justice never worked in my case as it does in so many other cases. If you don't have the money where you can buy justice, it just doesn't work. I will fight this until my end days, my end times. Somebody has to know, everybody. Somebody knows what happened to him. This house was full of kids when he died. There was a party the night before. When he got in, there was a party going on. And there were a lot of kids who knew what happened. They had grief counselors out here. They had the alumni out here. They were notified before I was notified that he was even dead. I wasn't even notified until 7 hours after he had died.
See.
The FBI investigated this as a hate crime, a criminal investigation, and it went to Washington, D.C., to Eric Holder's office, where everything stopped. Everything stopped right there in Washington, D.C. We're going to keep screaming and crying and asking why, and why, isn't my voice heard? Why am I screaming and nobody hears? It's a silent scream that we have because nobody's listening. Nobody cares about a student that had everything going for himself, that was on his way to being something in this world. Obama told us to send our children to school and things will be better. Well, things weren't better for Gregory Johnson Jr. Thank you, Lawless America.
Hi, it's Bill Windsor. I'm standing here in front of the Sigma Chi fraternity house. A young man just drove up on his motorcycle, talked with us for a minute. He's a member of the fraternity. He joined the fraternity after this incident took place here at the house, but a very impressive young man. So it's clear that Sigma Chi has quality people in the fraternity today.
Did they say where that was? They didn't say where it's at yet, though, right? Unless I'm bugging out. I'm always bugging out. Okay, turn a little bit. I'm trying to see where it's at. California? Y'all was right. I missed that one. How did I miss her say that? Damn.
He said that he'd heard a lot of stories about this, that even today people burst into tears when it comes up, that he had heard nothing but wonderful things about who he calls Junior. Gregory
Oh,
Johnson Jr., and apparently the guys called him Junior.
wow.
And he wouldn't go on camera, but he made it very clear from the things that he said that he wouldn't stand for something like this happening, and he thinks that the truth, whatever it is, should come out. And he does say that people are very upset about it, and nobody ever had anything but positive things to say about Gregory Johnson Jr.
He was
We've
reverent.
asked a couple of people, nearby fraternities, to go
See?
on camera, and nobody wants to do it. But we'll keep asking, and we need help. The family was denied evidence of an FBI investigation on the basis of national security interests. Now, what in the world does that tell us? They claim it's a matter of national security. The death of a young man in the basement of a fraternity house during a party doesn't make sense to me. We need a private investigator who will take this matter and investigate for these people. We have a list of many of the people who were here that night. It wouldn't be a tough job. We need to track these students down now who mainly have probably graduated and get the truth and find out who it is that I believe murdered Gregory Johnson Jr.
Hmm. Could be, Julie. You never know. You never know. Wow. So it look like he works with the parent. That's good. You know? It looks like he works with the parent. Oh, is this her page? Hold on. Yes, I found her page. Okay.
The story was all messed up.
We believe that he was murdered in his bedroom.
Me and my wife, we're not gonna give up. We know that y'all murdered our child down there.
As far as I know, on November 22nd, 2008 at 9:30, the Clear Lake Police Department came to my house and they told me that Gregory had committed suicide, that he hung himself. I just collapsed. I fell on the floor. I went into shock.
And I said, "You sure you got the right kid?" That's the first thing I asked.
That was 9:30 at night. Gregory died at 2:45. Nobody from San Jose State called me, but they sent these officers in a county it had nothing to do with. We were hysterical.
Let me put her link down here too.
First, I called Mike Loris, who was one of his roommates, and then he told me that they found Gregory in the basement hanging, and that he cut the extension cord as one of those heavy-duty orange cords like that, and he set him in a chair. All his stuff was packed when we got there. The bed that I believe he died on, the mattress was brand new sitting to the side. And I asked, should we take the mattress too? Because I knew he had to buy his own mattress for the bed before he moved in there. And they said, oh no, that's not his. That's a new mattress. But I didn't think to ask why.
Gregory's stuff was all boxed up at that time
What?
because he was trying to move out of the house because he was having problems with his roommates stealing his things and just like not respecting boundaries.
There was one young man that was just so distraught, and he was walking around crying, but he wouldn't say anything. Mike Loris told me on the phone that they found him kneeling on his knees, hanging. Then another brother said they found him with his legs sitting in a seated position, hanging. There were too many different stories right from the very beginning.
The fraternity brothers say that they found him, I think, midday in the basement hanging, but we know that there was blood
Please
upstairs
share
in
this
his
video,
bedroom
y'all.
when the
Check this
Johnson
out.
family went to collect his belongings. Bloody like towels, sheets that were stuffed in a hamper that was set to the side. We know that by the time the Johnson family arrived at the house had been cleaned with like Clorox or Pine Sol cleaning products. And so if you piece together that he came home late after work and there was blood in his bedroom and that they threw away his mattress, we believe that he was murdered in his bedroom.
After that, I called the coroner's office and I told them I wanted to see my son. They told me that he had already been identified by his fraternity brothers because I thought that it was the next of kin that I had to identify you. And it took us 30.
Did y'all just hear that? She just said his fraternity brothers ID'd his body. Oh no. It's supposed to be family, not his attorney. See, that's what I'm saying. This whole cover-up shit is crazy. Exactly, Katie. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What is going on? Are they crazy? And the police know that it's not supposed to be like that. Come on now. Come on.
13 days to see his body. When we got him to the funeral home, I said, look,
was blood in his bedroom and that they threw away his mattress. We believe that he was murdered in his bedroom.
After that, I called the coroner's office and I told them I wanted to see my son. They told me that he had already been identified by his fraternity brothers because I thought that it was the next of kin that I had to identify you. And it took us 13 days to see his body. When we got him to the funeral home, I said, look, I told my husband, look, we're going to get cameras and we're going to take pictures of every inch of his body. And his head was sitting on a block. When I moved the block, Gregory's head fell backwards. It wasn't connected. When I lifted his head, it was not a scar. It was not old. A scar is old. It was a crack, a 6-inch crack across the back of his head. And it was oozing. I thought it was brain matter. I don't know what it was. Okay. But at the time I thought it was brain matter. And I asked the attendant, he didn't know, maybe it was from the autopsy. That's how I knew.
Based on the crack in the back of his head, we believe that somebody hit him maybe while he was sleeping or laying down. And that's why there was so much blood on the sheets and the mattress. And we also believe that because Gregory was an award-winning wrestler, he was a weightlifter, he was very strong. And so whoever attacked him most likely would have had to do it when he was not paying attention. And then also the fact that his head was separated from his body by the time it arrived to Miss Johnson. That takes a lot of force to do that amount of damage. Miss Johnson has spoken with pathologists in the past, and the paralegal who worked with us was saying that the type of damage that was done to his neck and the crack in his head probably took multiple people.
On the 23rd, that's Sunday, I went down there. I talked to Officer Wong, the campus police. I told Officer Wong, my son didn't kill himself. He didn't have anything to kill himself for. He claimed that he owed $4,000 in student loans. $4,000 is nothing. Gregory wouldn't kill himself over $4,000. Gregory wouldn't kill himself over anything.
They got the nerve to say that this young man took his own life over some damn $4,000. a student's loan. I mean, come on now. Come with something better than that bullshit. Come on. That's crazy. Yeah, and there had to be more. They had to catch him off guard because he was a big dude. So it had to be more than one also. This is so sad. So sad. Unbelievable.
I don't know nobody since he's been born that didn't have a good thing to say about him. Everybody crazy about him. Mainly, he liked to preach. He started that when he was a kid. I used to get on him about it. My wife told me leave him alone because I used to think he was marking the pastor.
We had a little step stool in the kitchen, and he would bring that stool out.
No, he was becoming
And
a
he
pastor.
put the Bible up there. He couldn't read or anything. He started preaching almost verbatim what the preacher would say.
And he'd get down on his little
Wow.
piano and he'd have his little robe on. He'd be just playing and jumping around. And I tell him, stop that. I thought he was marking the pastor, but he wasn't. It was a calling. And I didn't know.
He was always friends with everybody. His best friend was Bryce.
I was Greg's best friend from the first day of kindergarten. I was really excited to go to kindergarten. And, as soon as my mom dropped me off, it turned into that little kid Fear, and it just happened to be the first kid that walked up to me was Greg. And I'll never forget seeing his, at the time, big ears and his big eyes. Just walked up to me and simply said, "What's wrong?" And it was just kind of instant friendship from that time.
My name is Ed Fuchs. I was a friend of Greg as well as an assistant wrestling coach to him. He was my workout buddy. We worked out every day at the gym on the campus, and we pushed each other. It didn't matter if we were doing lunges, if we were doing bicep curls, we piggybacked off each other's positivity.
Remember conversations on the front lawn before we went to college, talking about what we were going to do and how we would both get college degrees and what we were going to do, and we're going to be neighbors, and just always just hung out.
We talked about, once I did come back, I ended up inheriting the head coaching position at the high school, and it was always in our plan that he was going to come back and be the head coach for our junior high program. When we got our new wrestling room was about 7-8 years ago, and I dedicated a portion of the room to him. It's Greg Johnson Memorial Gold Corner. So every year with my students, we sit down in that corner, and I get to talk about Greg. I get to talk about him as a leader. I get to talk about him as someone that was passionate of what he was going to do, and the goals that he had set for himself. I really try to emulate that to these students coming through.
My thought on the autopsy was, it was a bunch of bull. That's what pissed me off the most.
Yeah, that's right.
The autopsy never mentioned a crack on the back of his head. Never mentioned it.
But we sit there and we waited, me and my wife, saying that we know that he didn't kill himself. We had pictures. We knew that he didn't hang. He didn't have no ligature marks around his neck. And then we get a bogus autopsy report saying that he had ligature marks around his neck. He died from ligature hanging.
There were no ligature marks. I have pictures. There were no ligature marks.
Miss Johnson believed that the authorities were doing their due diligence with the investigation, and she waited. And later she realized that they were basically trying to make her wait so that the statute of limitations would pass and she would not be able to get any answers.
I talked with the police department, with the chief of police, and nobody was interested. That's an easy way to get out of doing things. Call it suicide. Everybody will go away.
They're absolutely taking advantage of her emotional vulnerability.
We went to meet with Andre Barnes, the chief of police at San Jose State. He told us.
Yeah, exactly, Katie. And that's what I was saying when I was reading it. The height of the basement was shorter than him. How could it be? How could it take his? There's no way in hell. You know what I mean? Like, come on. No way in hell. This is sad, man. This is why? And the crazy thing is, like, you can tell that by listening to his friends and family, he wasn't a problem guy. You could tell, like, he was a cool, friendly, smart, outgoing. And even if he wasn't an awesome person, He didn't deserve this. There's ways to handle situations. If you get into something with somebody, you don't take their life. There's ways to handle a situation. Especially like this. His head was decomposed.
Us
Oh,
that the
man.
case was closed, period. That by Wednesday, they were closing up everything, that it was a suicide, and that was it. Nothing more to say. 4 days. They call that an investigation. 4 days. That's not an investigation.
4 days.
My name is Tiffany Yep, and I started the petition to reopen his case. My main role with the campaign is helping to handle the social media accounts. And I
This
also
man's
made
life
a
matter.
post on my personal Instagram that went viral. Sigma Chi, the fraternity, they posted a picture of them. They had like Trump memorabilia. They did address on their Instagram Gregory's death, and they called it a suicide. They said in their statement that Gregory was a brother to them, and he will always be a brother. So if he's their brother, then they need to talk to his family about it and hear their concerns about their son's death. It's suspicious that they don't want to address it. They don't want to talk to people about it. And Sigma Chi in particular has a very bad track record. Like, they have a reputation on campus specifically for being racist. So I think that there needs to be something done about Sigma Chi.
I got a phone call and I heard that, there was a big uproar about what happened to Gregory. And I'm not surprised. Because you lie doesn't make the truth disappear.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! When black lives are under attack, what do? When black lives are under attack, what do?
Well, right here we're protesting for the murder of Gregory Johnson Jr. that was covered up by the San Jose State Police Department and San Jose State University as a whole, and we are here to demand justice for him and his family. The atmosphere here is there's a lot of unity. There's a lot of love going on around here. There are people donating, people meeting each other for the first time, all here for a good cause.
Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson! Gregory Johnson!
Really what we're here to do is just bring people together for a common goal, and we want justice. That's all we want. We want justice for his family. Imagine if your mom couldn't sleep at night knowing that someone killed you and they said you committed suicide.
For a while, I thought that this case was pretty much finished. We wrote a lawsuit ourselves with the help of a paralegal, Ms. Johnson and I, and we had some hope that the lawsuit would lead to the full police report and the photos and the full FBI report being released. But when that lawsuit was dismissed, I kind of lost hope. And pretty much all I could do at that point was just continue to speak about Gregory's case in hopes that somebody else would basically like pick it up. And that's what the San Jose State students did following the protests for George Floyd.
Sigma Chi, they were told to stay away tonight, to not get involved. Why? If you have nothing to be ashamed for, why? But instead, you turn your back and you border up the house and you walk away.
Justice for justice!
When you say somebody committed suicide, it's a stigma, But to say it when it didn't happen, when they were murdered, there's no justice, there's no peace. There's no closure because they lied about it. All they did was lie. And now they board up the house and leave.
People would not say it to my face, but I could tell there was sort of this feeling like me and Miss Johnson were crazy, or people just thought that we didn't have the story right or we didn't have the facts. And now there has been enough education about everything that was wrong about the investigation, all of the ways in which Denise's rights were violated as the mother of Gregory Johnson. And now we have folks who are contributing to the work.
You see, it was easy for them to say suicide, then they could squash all the records. But see, I knew my son didn't commit suicide. They murdered him in that house. I'm almost 70 years old. And yeah, I'm wearing down, but I'm not giving up. I don't have to give up. And I don't have to believe your lies, Sigma Chi. I don't have to believe your lies, campus police. I don't have to believe your lies, San Jose PD. I don't have to believe your damn lies, Jeff Rosen. They used to sit around and talk about and wonder why Gregory could do so well, coming from where he came from, a rural area, and being poor, and how he was so smart and athletic. That's because he was blessed. And he went home. He went home on high. He's much happier now. Yes, Black lives do matter.
Oof.
Black lives do matter. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Wow.
And then we went to court because you know the
She
case.
filed a lawsuit against
We
them.
were supposed to go back to court in 3 days because the state's attorney that represented the school came to court with no paperwork, and the Sigma Chi's attorney had no paperwork. So Judge Cousins told them to go back and get the paperwork, see him in the courtroom in 3 days. That never happened. We never went back to court in 3 days. About 3 weeks later, he dismissed the case with the statute of limitation.
Unbelievable. Medical examiner Dr. Michael Jones reviewed the investigation. Gregory's death was still ruled a
Cases
suicide.
like this are only one if the public is aware of what has
Unbelievable.
happened and is putting pressure on them to do what is right. They've been able to silence the truth by hiding the documents. On the surface right now, it looks like there is a lot of corruption going on in the police department that we don't even know about. We just know what we can see, but we know that there's got to be more behind what we can't see.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Despite invitation, the Johnson family
Gregory
and
was
activists.
64 when he died. Okay. I could reach up. When I went in the basement, I could reach up and touch. I touched the pipe. I'm 5'6".
To support the Johnson family, who killed Gregory Johnson Jr.com.
We've all been in this together. Even when it seemed like we were all alone, we weren't. There are so many memories that I have of this school and this town. I could fill a multitude of books just retelling them. The love that I possess for each and every one of you, sitting in those seats, is without limits
It's him, guys.
or boundaries. Some of the ones that started out with us did not make it all the way. Some of the people that we wish could be here in the physical are not, but they are watching us right now with a smile.
The truth always rises to the top.
That's right.
I don't care how old you get and how many lies are told. The truth will always rise to the top.
Wow. Oof. Wow. That really touched me. That really touched me. And even though the coroner said what he said and told her this is not suicide, they still will not change the fact. They still saying that it's suicide. You know, the system is messed up. It's so corrupt. I don't even know how many times I could say that. It's just so corrupt. And I really, really hope that she gets the right attorney. And I really hope that she gets the right activists and the right people and the right team on her side so that this case can get open and those monsters, as we call them over here, well, as I call them, monsters, demons, because those, they not people, those aren't human beings. You take a mother's child, you take another human being's life, you monster, you're a monster to me. That they deserve to get consequences what happened to them. He deserves justice. This is not right. This is not right. Because if it was one of those boys in that room, one of his roommates that this happened to, and they was occasion, those white boys. And another thing, oh, let me finish my sentence. I know I be jumping around sometimes. Let me finish. If it was one of those boys, they parents would want justice, right? They would be going hard just like she going hard. So what's the difference? Oh, I forgot. They look at the color. My bad. And another thing, he had a white girlfriend. She refused to speak to the police. Yeah. Okay. Let me cross this out because I worked this one. That was what, Gregory Johnson. I'm going to look more into him though. Yeah, she refused to talk to him, to talk to the police, Shay Shay. I don't know which one I want to do next. Ryan or Kendrick? Hold on, let me just clear some of these out right here because it's getting a little packed over here. Okay. Mm. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let's get into it. I don't know, it's kind of low. I can't really hear it. What circumstances are they talking about that led to the manner of him supposedly committing suicide? Right. 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 Oh, they said because of $4,000 student loan, Julie. A $4,000 student loan. Like, get the hell out of here. You gotta do better than that. Come on. Come on. Okay. The next one is Ryan Singleton. Ryan Singleton. Hold on, because I don't want to do it. Hold on, because this guy's thing is low. I want to find another one. Let me see.
So Ryan gets flown, rents a car. So
okay, perfect. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. Let me just get myself together now. Okay. I remember this case a while back, a little bit of it, yeah. I definitely remember this case a little bit while back. He was a model. He was a model. Hold on. He was a 24 years old action writer, filmmaker, model in Atlanta, Georgia. He went to Atlanta, Georgia. That was supposed to be a week, I think like a little getaway trip for himself. I believe that somebody asked him not to go out there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really recall. It's been a little while. Kendrick August, yes, it was. Yes. Yes, it was missing. And I'm going to get to that too, Julie. Oh yeah, it was missing. And this young man, Ryan's organs were missing also. That's why I wanted to do I want to explain something, right? Oh, and I'm doing a live tomorrow at 7 something or 8. I forgot to put one more person on my thumbnail. When I do my lives, right, I try to put it in a category. Like this live, if you're riding with me and notice it, you'll notice that these men had something similar that happened to them, right? Their organs were missing. Except for Gregory, but we don't know that for sure. The last one we just did. I wonder was his organs missing because they refused to let the mother see the body and this and that. There's a reason for everything. So I'm wondering if his organs were missing. But the next two right here that I'm doing, their organs were missing. Yesterday we did mostly missing people, I think it was. So it's always like a category, like it'll be missing person or they either was murdered. You know what I mean? If you get what I'm saying, I don't know if that makes sense to you. I try to put mine in like a category. Okay, anyway, let's get to it. He's very handsome too. Look at him.
Ryan gets flown out to LA by a friend. No one really knows who this guy is, but when he's in LA, he decides he's going to take a trip to Vegas, rents a car, drives out to Vegas, and on his way back, he knows he doesn't have enough money for gas. So he calls his mom, calls a friend, gets some money, but still runs out of gas on this Highway 15, somewhere in this area on the way back to LA.
Got it. Okay.
So he's on the side of the road looking for help. California Highway Patrol finds him, picks him up, then they go looking for his car, and they can't find it. Why are they having trouble, difficulty locating his car if you're here in the middle of nothing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Vinny. So what we have here, this is Baker
There's nothing here.
There's not much. As you can see, this is desolate desert area. This over here is Interstate 15. And ultimately, his vehicle is located, but it's located 3 miles northwest of the Holloran Springs exit, which is a little bit off of our map over here. But what they do find is the California Highway Patrol actually finds Ryan walking along Interstate 15. The patrolman picks him up and spends some time with him going up and down this area looking for his vehicle. Never finds it. Why? Because ultimately it is found 3 miles northwest. The only conclusion that I can form is that they just never went far enough south.
Didn't go far enough to track it.
Now, ultimately, the patrolman drops him off at this ARCO station, again, off of Interstate 15 in Baker. The ARCO station is right here. And then we later know where his remains are found, and we'll get to that.
So he's at the ARCO station. I'm looking at it here. And I mean, again, there's not a lot of things. This guy's 6'4", and suddenly is at the ARCO station, then is gone, disappears, because he calls his friend from the ARCO station to pick him up. But he's got to drive from LA, so it takes a few hours to get out there. Gets out there, no one knows where he is. How does someone just disappear in an area like this where you have so few places to go?
I don't know. And the curious thing about this is that there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to even seek shade other than some kind of man-made structure. And to give you an indication as to how hostile this environment is, they've actually got the world's tallest thermometer right here. That gives you an indication. We're in the middle of the Mojave Desert here, right on the edges of what's referred to as Death Valley, probably one of the most inhospitable areas in the United States.
In the summer.
In the summer. Yeah, average temperature in July then, 108 per day.
Wow.
All right. So he somehow disappears. And to me, that's part of the mystery here is why would he even leave the ARCO station? Maybe you'll go somewhere to get something to eat, but why would you wander anywhere? Because let's get to what you're talking about, Charles, which is where his body is found somewhere off of this road. It's Silver Lane. Here's the actual road, but it's up here. It's about 1.5 miles from the ARCO station and the AM/PM convenience store. And he's found 200 feet?
200 yards, I believe. 200 yards off of Silver Lane. He's found by a couple of guys that are going on a hike. And ultimately, that's where the remains are found. So you can see the distance from this ARCO station. And again, it's a cold case. It is, however, still an open case with the San Bernardino Sheriff's Office.
Here's the terrain, okay? This is the terrain of what is off of Silver Lane. Why would anyone go there?
I don't know. It's
by himself.
Yeah, it's like a moonscape, isn't it? There's literally, you see real low growth scrub vegetation there. You don't see any trees standing out. You're not going to find that kind of shelter in that kind of environment. And I have to think that someone that was in their right mind would have the ability to say, hey, you know what, this is probably not healthy for me. I don't need to be out in this area. And then we can only speculate at that point. What was he thinking? Why would any right-thinking person just wander out into this area where they're going to succumb to this environment?
And again, obviously we are purely speculating. Open case, we don't have a whole lot of information, right? The authorities aren't sharing statements with us. They're not sharing
Not
a lot
all
at
the
this point.
statements, no.
That's correct. But one thought is maybe he gets a ride here at the ARCO station. Maybe somebody picks him up. Maybe somebody else is going to help him locate his vehicle. But maybe he's in an
Maybe he was drugged. Maybe he was drugged. I never could understand this case. It is, I don't know, just. But I'm listening again.
altered state. We know from the autopsy there's a possibility there, and I know we'll get into that. But perhaps he gets a ride, somebody takes him along, and maybe he starts acting in a bizarre fashion, and they just dump him off right here on Silver Lane or nearby. That's one possibility. We just don't know if he has some sort of secondary contact with somebody else who also was assisting him in some fashion, and that maybe went wrong.
You were mentioning 108 degrees, middle of summer. Right? What if he walks this distance? You're walking a couple miles. I mean, is that Is that hot enough? Are those conditions brutal enough that somehow you can become disoriented just by walking a couple of miles?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's going to set in if you're not properly hydrated is dehydration. When he was found clothed. He had shorts on, I believe. He had a shirt on. The remains did. There's no indication he had a hat on or anything like that, and there was no water containers near the body. But again, we're talking 2 months downrange from when he was last seen, when the body was found. So yeah, there's if he is disoriented, this would only be further exacerbated by heat and dehydration.
All right. So when the body is found months later, the organs are missing, and this became a big issue for Ryan's mom, because she gets a phone call saying, "Listen, we found your son, but he's really not in good shape. The organs are missing." And it wasn't clear to her at that point what state the remains were in. She didn't know if the remains were in a good state and just the organs were missing. How can that be explained? And is there anything in the autopsy or anywhere else that explains how his organs would be missing or why?
Yeah, the forensic pathologist for this particular county did the autopsy, and one of the things that is found in the autopsy report is that the forensic pathologist states that a few of the ribs are missing. All right?
So he says the ribs are missing in the autopsy. We have the autopsy up here.
Yeah, we do. He actually states that there are a couple of ribs missing. People have speculated on how do the organs go missing in this case, Vin?
Right.
And the idea is any kind of predator, any kind of scavenger that is out there in the desert. You got coyotes, you've got all kinds of birds of carrion that are out there, these types of things. They're going to seek out an area that's loaded in protein. They're going to want to go for the abdomen. There are no bones that are protecting our abdomen, okay? And they're talking about feasting activity of animals and this sort of thing. If they can get open the abdomen, they're going to begin to eat the abdomen, eat all of the contents in the abdomen, the bowel, the liver, the kidneys, which are missing. They allude to the lungs and the heart. All of that stuff is protein rich. These animals are wanting it. My suspicion is it's a high likelihood this could be coyotes. Another interesting thing.
Well, here's the thing about coyotes. Something else people have talked about. If it was coyotes, wouldn't the bones and everything be scattered everywhere and difficult to find?
No, he was still intact. But there's no, and one of the curious things that the pathologist says in the autopsy report is that there's no indication of surgical intervention in this case. And what that means, because there's a lot of stuff that's floating around on the internet right now about illegal harvestation of organs.
Absolutely.
If that's going to be a procurement event, first off, you have to have a viable way to source the organs, and they would be surgically removed. That means that you would have to have smooth margins that indicates that a scalpel has opened the body. There's no indication of that. As a matter of fact, there's little or no tissue that's left on the outside of the body. Let's keep in mind, when they got his remains, the totality of the weight of the body was only 50 pounds, and that was with clothing.
So let's get to this autopsy, because you look at here at the end. This is the big stuff, right? Cause of death undetermined due to advanced decomposition.
So they're trying to say that the animals ate them up, right? That's what, is that what I'm hearing? Like they did, like they said about Jelani. Hate to use him as a, but it's true. Or like other people. The animals ate his organs up. Is that what they're trying to say? Right. And we're supposed to just believe that and take that and be okay and trust that. We're supposed to believe that and trust that. Right. And I'm related to Michael Jackson. Janet Jackson is my half sister. Fuck it. You know what? That's too common because we're both black. Elvis is my uncle. I mean, come on, let's be fucking for real. Come on now.
Manner of death undetermined.
Goddamn bullshit.
What is needed in this case to get to some determination? Is it going to be? Do we need some sort of video surveillance? Do we need a witness who comes forward? Is there something scientific that can be done further in this case to get some determination as to what happened and why it happened.
To me, the whole autopsy, there's nothing that is really nefarious about this. This seems to be to bear out a situation where you have somebody who expired from natural causes in the desert, and then unfortunately the remains were interfered with, consumed to some extent by animal activity.
You say that, but the unanswered question I think a lot of people have is, he's dropped off in a safe place here waiting for his friend. Why would he be here and end up over here? How does he get from here to here? What is the explanation that makes sense here?
There's one thing out of the autopsy that we know from the toxicology.
Okay.
And
right down here.
Joseph Scott Morgan is best positioned to elaborate on his interpretation of it. But we know there's
read that to me. Read that to me.
Well, it says decomposed brain was sent for toxicology. While the screening ELISA test for amphetamines was presumed positivity, no amphetamines were detected using gas chromatography or mass spectrometry.
Yes, spectrometry.
And so we've talked about this, and again, Joseph, why don't you elaborate on how they came to that sort of conclusion?
To me, that's inconsistent, right? On the one side, you're saying there's a test that says yes, and there's another test that says no.
Well, it's more like maybe. And here's the rub. The body has been in a decomposing state for 2 months in one of the worst, most harsh environments in the United States of America. Okay, it's going to compromise any tissue you have left. They're very fortunate that there was actually some brain tissue left, and we can go more into that as well. But there was actually some semblance of brain matter that was left in the cranial vault that they were able to harvest out of there at the examination. And what they will do is, in the absence of everything else, in a perfect world, we would want blood, we would want maybe a sample of liver, these sorts of things. But with the brain, that's all we have. Okay. They take the brain, they put it in a big centrifuge. A lot of people have seen these at home, and they spin it down almost liquefied, and then they'll draw a sample off of that. But the sample is so compromised right now. They're saying, well, it looks like that amphetamine may or may not be there. It's the only thing that they got hit on, because they screen for things like opiates.
Everything else was like
cannabinoids.
But let's not forget the observations of the Highway Patrol. Trained professionals said did not appear to be under the influence of any drugs.
Yeah, back at Charles here, because I got to tell you, for me, I want to talk to this cop. That's who I want to press.
I mean, we don't know anything about the cop. We don't know about the cop's breadth of experience, how long he's been on the Highway Patrol, what sort of training he has.
If someone is like spacing out, you're going to know it, right?
But at one stage,
if you're tripping on some sort of drug, it's going to be very obvious, isn't it?
Not necessarily. And at the time when this officer came in contact with Ryan, he may have been in one particular state of mind, but after extreme heat, 108 degrees, dehydration sets in. I mean, his state can be even further altered. One of the things that speaks to me is, listen, he should have some sense as to where he left his car, right? Yeah. If he doesn't have some sense, then he's in a truly altered state, right? So he would know it's off of Interstate 15 somewhere. And if he knows it's off of Interstate 15, then why would he even be venturing off in this direction by foot? To me, that points to one of two things. Either he was truly disoriented and he made his way completely in the opposite direction of the interstate, or someone else picked him up, was assisting him in some way, or maybe there's something more nefarious associated with who picked him up and why they were heading in that direction and what may have occurred. Now, as far as nefarious, there's nothing about what we know from the autopsy that would point to a gunshot wound or an incised wound or something like that may have contributed to his death. Yeah. So that leaves a big question mark. It seems like
let's bottom line it now. Let's bottom line it. I mean, it's undetermined now. Do you believe that this thing can be solved, that there can be an answer for Ryan's mom from investigators in this case as to what happened to her son?
From the scientific standpoint, I think that we've gone as far as the road can take us at this point. They have examined the remains. Not only has a forensic pathologist examined the remains, but also a forensic anthropologist has examined the remains. There was no sign of trauma. The only thing that they note as real trauma to Ryan's remains is a skull fracture. But both the forensic pathologist and the forensic anthropologist both state clearly that this is probably a post-mortem event. That means after death, and that's as a result of the drying or desiccation that takes place in the bone. Bones became brittle. There's no evidence of trauma at this point with what we have remaining. All the soft tissue is gone, Ben. There's no evidence of hemorrhage, all those sorts of things that we look for. We're left high and dry. So I'd have to defer to good old-fashioned shoe leather as far as the cops are concerned with this case.
I mean, we have the expert telling us we're at the end of that road as far as the scientific side. So really what it leaves is, some possible testimonial evidence. Maybe there's a witness or two out there that saw him get picked up, that saw him interact with somebody, that may be able to shed some light on what happened after that California Highway Patrolman dropped him off there, right? So to me, the likelihood that we get some clarity, some sort of resolution to this case, sadly, and I say sadly for the family, for Ryan's mom especially, it seems remote at best at this point. But if it were to occur, I think it's going to be in the form of a witness that comes back. Now, we're talking 2013. A lot of time has passed. This is a small town out in the desert. I mean, we're not talking about, but a metropolitan
so I think
city.
the only way we may get an answer here is if there's more publicity about this case, and maybe someone remembers something or feels obligated to come forward. I think that's the only way.
I think that's.
Shut your mouth. Shut your damn mouth. It's a shame, y'all. Damn shame. Hold on. Somebody did this case before and I wanted to show y'all. I don't know if I could find it. Oh, it was the 11 News. Yeah, right here.
Shotzi, the model.
That's Ryan Singleton, a young aspiring model. His story begins right here in Atlanta, where he was raised by his mom.
Somewhere between third and fourth grade, he figured out that his initials of his name, RTS, backward was STR, which meant star. So he started then making himself into a star.
In the fall of 2010, Ryan left Atlanta to pursue his dreams of modeling in New York.
He landed 7 shows during Mercedes Week in New York, and that's huge.
After success in New York, Ryan and his two friends, Antonio Faison and Jared Davis, set their sights on Hollywood. Their adventure was all caught on camera as they filmed their pursuit of fame for a docuseries called Are We Famous Yet?
The inspiration for our docuseries was simple. It was Ryan. We wanted to document his journey and becoming a model.
Once they hit LA, things happened quickly.
We were basically in the inner circle. We were being invited to things that we kind of just saw on television and we're like, okay, now we're here.
Then Ryan left LA, returned to New York, and suddenly was married. This is a photo of the ceremony. Next to Ryan is Real Housewife of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey. But that's not who he was marrying.
I find out on social media, Ryan has gotten married to a man twice his age. I don't even know who this is. I don't have a clue as to what's going on.
Ryan married Keith Brewster, but the marriage didn't last, and Ryan returned home to Georgia in the spring of 2013, where things got more mysterious.
He says, tell me the truth. Okay, something bad is going to happen to me, isn't it?
Then more mystery. He flew to LA, met someone, then rented a car and drove himself to Las Vegas. Then before driving back, he called his mom.
He felt that something bad was going to happen to him. I know you told me. I told you I was live. I know, Travis. You inboxed me that. You inboxed me that. Now you okay. Katie, what was I saying? Oh, why was he told his mother that something wasn't right? He told his mother that something wasn't right. Like he felt like something was going, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that vibe. Wait, hold on. Let me rewind that. Right there.
Then more mystery. He flew to LA, met someone, then rented a car and drove himself to Las Vegas. Then before driving back, he called his mom.
I said, boy, you okay out there? He said, yeah, I'm getting ready to come home. I said, okay, what do you need? He said, I need you to go in my room and get the $100 out of there.
Ryan's mom wired the money to him. Then she received a phone call from Ryan's
Thank
ex.
you, Shay.
I said, well, Ryan went to the West
babe.
Coast and told me not to tell you. He said, oh my God, his life would be in danger.
Brewster never told Ryan's mom what the danger was, but it was real. Ryan's car broke down in Death Valley on the ride back from Vegas. He flagged down the highway patrol, who dropped him off at this convenience store, and then Ryan vanished. 74 days later, his mom received another call, this one from investigators who found Ryan's body.
She said, ma'am, Ryan didn't have any organs. He didn't have any eyes, he didn't have a heart, he didn't have any lungs, he didn't have any liver, and he didn't have any kidneys. I said, what? That sounds like somebody took my son's organs and sold them on the black market.
The autopsy report answers very few questions. The cause and manner of death, both undetermined.
If you're looking for a causative element of death here, I think that it's an environmental death.
Unforgiving conditions in the desert, 108 degrees, him walking, and all that spells disaster.
With his organs was not damaged by animals, not a pointy-eared, tail-wagging, four-legged, furry animal. That was a human animal or animals that did this to my son.
That's right. I'm glad I
So
found
since the
this one.
story
I'm glad she
first
said
aired
that.
last night on 11 Alive at 11, there has been an overwhelming reaction on social media for more. Then went through the autopsy report.
I am so glad she said that, because I just said, wait a minute. Ain't no damn animals did no shit like that. What happened, Katie? What did I miss? All right, hold on. Let me rewind it for her.
Media for more. Then went through the autopsy report, the evidence, and the pictures from the scene with his investigators, Joseph Scott Morgan and Charles Middlestad. Together, they analyzed the case to figure out how it can be solved.
Let's bottom line it now. Let's bottom line it. I mean, it's undetermined now. Do you believe that this thing can be solved, that there can be an answer for Ryan's mom from investigators in this case as to what happened to her son?
From the scientific standpoint, I think that we've gone as far as the road can take us at this point. They have examined the remains. Not only has a forensic pathologist examined the remains, but also a forensic anthropologist has examined the remains. There was no sign of trauma. The only thing that they note as real trauma to Ryan's remains is a skull fracture. But both the forensic pathologist and the forensic anthropologist both state clearly that this is probably a post-mortem event. That means after death, and that's as a result of the drying or desiccation that takes place in the bone. Bones became brittle. We're left high and dry. So I'd have to defer to good old-fashioned shoe leather as far as the cops are concerned with this case.
I mean, we have the expert telling us we're at the end of that road as far as the scientific side. So really what it leaves is, some possible testimonial evidence. Maybe there's a witness or two out there that saw
There's
him
no
get
way
picked
the
up,
heat and the
that saw him
animal is the
interact with
cause. Too
somebody,
much
that
was
may be able to
removed.
shed some light
Right.
on what happened after
And
that
this idiot over there
California Highway
talking
Patrolman
about an
dropped him
animal.
off
Okay, there's
there.
no
To me, the likelihood that we get some clarity, some sort of
organ
resolution to this
trafficking.
case, sadly, and I say sadly for the family, for Ryan's mom especially,
Why they
it
still
seems
fucking there?
remote at best at this point. But if it were to occur, I think it's going to be in the form of a witness that comes
People are
back. Now, we're
just
talking
ignorant, I
2013. A lot of time has passed.
The only way we may get an answer here is if there's more publicity about this case. And
Shut the fuck up. We already know what you had to say. We know what you had to say. Now you listen to what the fuck we gotta say. Okay? Shit. So they full of it. Bottom line. Too much was taken. And who was this man that he married? What kind of business did he have? That's what I want to look into. Was he a doctor? Who was the man? Let's look into that, matter of fact. Who was his husband? And if y'all can find it before me, let me know. Mm. Okay, let me see. What is the story? Okay, who was Ryan Singleton? I want to know who was let me see what y'all saying. There is no way that he y'all ain't saying nothing. I want to know about this guy he married. Keitha Bruiser, a fashion stylist. Oh, he was a fashion stylist. But he's also friends with that girl from that show. Yeah, Cherish, they took them organs out and used them. They sold them. Black market, that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. It's a damn shame. Damn shame. Same thing with Kendrick Johnson. Who's next? Sorry, guys. I took myself out, but not in that way. God forbid. Excuse me. All right. Kendrick Johnson. Mm.
This was back in 2013, and his family still has questions, and they suspect foul play. There's now a documentary film on what happened to Kendrick called Finding Kendrick Johnson, the result of a 4-year investigation into the facts of the case. The filmmaker Jason Pollock asserts that Kendrick's death was no accident.
We opened the body in this particular case, and the organs were not there. Paper had been stuffed into the cavity to fill it up.
Body parts are missing, evidence is missing.
And we tested it, and it was blood. And we did DNA testing.
Yeah,
it was
the
not the
husband
blood of
should be
Kendrick
looking.
Johnson.
If it wasn't Kendrick blood, who blood was it?
We know it was.
If KJ had been white, we wouldn't have had to make this film.
This week, I spoke to actress Jennifer Lewis, who is also the narrator and executive producer of Finding Kendrick Johnson. And I asked her how she got involved in the project.
Well, I was on book tour with my memoir, The Mother Black Hollywood, and I did an interview with Charlemagne the God on The Breakfast Club. A young man asked me to take a photograph with Mike Brown and asked if he could send it to the director, Jason Pollock. He did, and Jason in that photograph saw my passion and called and asked me to narrate this amazing documentary.
Yeah, let's play.
And I want to say this to you, Joe.
Please do.
I just want to tell you, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. To sit
I can
there
imagine.
and talk about them taking this boy's organs and killing him.
I can only imagine. Let's play a little clip of the documentary for those who are watching.
A 5'10" kid decided to go head first into a 6-foot mat, then realized after he was stuck that he was gonna die down there. And then he died down there, stuck. Somehow silently, with a gym full of kids playing basketball and changing classes around him. Then his shoes magically appeared on the top of his body, inside the mat, shoved into the hole. His legs became twisted in the mat.
There are so many discrepancies in this case. The original finding that he died of accidental asphyxiation versus the finding that it was blunt force trauma, the organs being missing. There's so much here. Now, the filmmakers are saying they've found new evidence. What can people expect to learn from this documentary that we didn't already know?
Well, that it was just a cover up. Mitch Creedle, the whistleblower, who was sent from DC to investigate this case, acquired enough evidence that a judge gave permission for an all-out raid into these people's home, the Bell's home. Now, that's a lot of evidence for a judge to give permission to storm someone's house. What happened? What happened after that? They pushed it all under the rug. This is one of the biggest tragedies I've ever heard, that they took that baby's organs, murdered him, and then took his organs. They exhumed the body and found that the child had been stuffed with newspaper.
Right.
This family has to live with that.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you right now, I am going to fight for justice for Kendrick Johnson's family until that case is open. We are calling on Biden, the Congress, the Senate, to open this case now that we have this evidence.
Well, Biden ain't
Let me
here
play
no
one
more.
more clip because I want people to hear the parents of Kendrick. Here are who's called KJ, his nickname. Here are his parents as part of this documentary.
How would you feel if your son went to school and never came home, never returned home, and then the next day you found out he was rolled up in a gym mat?
My thing is to let people know that they have a voice. They don't have to be silent. They don't have to be scared to fight no more. They can speak out.
They killed the wrong child this time. We ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. My baby life mattered.
This case, is one of the most disturbing, I have to say, that I've ever heard about. The sense that there's a cover-up, the sense that it's a much bigger case than we've even been led to believe in the beginning. You said you've called on the Justice Department to intervene. Is it your expectation that you think that that is going to happen? Do you think it's likely that with this publicity and with you, with your prominence, do you think it'll happen?
Oh, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Because I'm telling you right now, Joy, I am going to fight. I am going to use my platform for this case. I had that family here in my home. I gave them a big Southern dinner, Valdosta, Georgia. This is where this whole murder occurred. This is the same town where Mary Turner was hung from a bridge they've actually named in Valdosta, the Hanging Bridge. Hung her and cut her baby out of her stomach. It's time for us to stop turning away from all of this. Justice has to happen in this case because the evidence is right there. Imagine being the mother of this child, 17 years old, knowing somebody probably rich and white are walking around with his organs. It's not right.
It's not right. And it would be nice if we had an anti-lynching law in this country. That would actually be nice too, because it feels like that is what we're talking about here. Jennifer Lewis, thank you for using your platform for doing something so important. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
It is my pleasure. Thank you, Joy, and I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of yours.
The truth. You keep telling the truth, baby. I admire you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. She is absolutely amazing. Finding Kendrick Johnson, a documentary by Jason Pollock and narrated by the great Jennifer Lewis, is now available on digital.
So I got something right here that says, however, after their marriage, it was clear that things were not right. According to a blogger who reportedly spoke with Flowers, Singleton would make pancake phone calls in the middle of the night to his mother and many of his friends. Allegedly, he once told his mother, "I just threw an 8,000 bag out the window and I don't give a fuck. I can't take this any longer. He's controlling me and we're living in an apartment with no food, lights, and showering at the YMCA. I can't believe I let him trick me into giving up everything." Singleton would then hang up immediately. Whenever his husband went into the room. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 minute. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Starting to get a little bit of anxiety. I want to hear his parents talk. Okay, here we go. That's right here. Yeah, it did, right? It seems like some manipulation was going on. Yeah. I can't show a lot of stuff like how he looked and stuff because I don't know how YouTube would take that. It was really bad. It was really, really bad.
It's the second time Jacqueline Johnson cried next to her son Kendrick's grave. The first time he was being lowered into the ground. This time he's being pulled out of it.
Did you ever expect you'd have to exhume his body?
No, I didn't expect to have to bury his body.
In June, Kendrick's body was sent to Florida. The Johnsons hired Dr. Bill Anderson to conduct an independent second autopsy. In that autopsy, Anderson told the Johnsons he'd found evidence that Kendrick died as the result of a blow to the neck and not accidental asphyxia after slipping into a rolled gym mat at school, as investigators in Georgia had said. But what Dr. Anderson did not find shocked them.
When we got the body for the second autopsy, that organs, the heart, lungs, liver, etc., were not with the body.
The brain?
Brain, they were all absent.
Every organ from the top of Kendrick's head to his pelvis gone, and his family had no idea.
We have been let down again. And when we buried Kendrick, we thought we was burying Kendrick, not half of Kendrick.
I'm not sure at this point who did not return the organs to the body, but I know when we got the body, the organs were not there.
So CNN contacted the two entities that had custody of Kendrick's body and access to his organs: the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which conducted the first autopsy in January, and Harrington Funeral Home, which the Johnsons chose to embalm and prepare Kendrick's body for burial days later. A spokeswoman for the state tells CNN after its autopsy, the organs were placed in Johnson's body, the body was closed, then the body was released to the funeral home. State investigators say it's their normal practice, but what happened after his body arrived at the funeral home was anything but normal.
What was in the place of the organs?
Newspaper.
Newspaper.
Dr. Anderson
How
showed me the
disgraceful.
pictures of Kendrick's body he'd taken during the second autopsy.
It's a Black Friday ad, JCPenney ad.
Yes.
Stuffing that newspaper in like he was a garbage can inside his body.
JCPenney bag, Black Friday bag.
I'd imagine that that's a different kind of pain.
Yep.
Why do you think that there would be newspaper stuffed in your child?
I never heard of that before. Never.
Neither had the founder of a national embalming academy contacted by CNN, who said it's not consistent with the standards of care in the industry, nor had the president of the National Association of Medical Examiners, who told CNN he's never heard of this practice.
Why would the funeral home discard his organs and stuff them with newspaper?
The question is, why didn't he tell us?
So what exactly did the Harrington Funeral Home do with Kendrick's organs? And why was he stuffed with old newspaper? We went to their office to find out, but their response to us? No comment. However, in a letter to the Johnsons' attorney, Harrington Funeral Home owner Antonio Harrington denies he received Kendrick's organs. He writes in part, his internal organs were destroyed through natural process and hence discarded before the body was sent back to Valdosta. It's another disappointing answer for parents determined to know what
okay.
happened to their son before and now
Sounds
after
good.
his death. And they admit they're struggling.
I'm almost done
Unbearable,
anyway.
just about. Only thing that wakes you up in the morning is just to keep pushing.
Victor Blackwell joins us now. This is an unbelievable newspaper inside this young man's body. I understand there's an
Thank you for
investigation
joining
into
us,
where
Shisha.
Kendrick
That means a lot
Johnson's
to me.
organs went and why. What do we know about it?
Well, Anderson, we contacted the Georgia Secretary of State's office because they issued licenses to funeral homes. We wanted to check on the history of Harrington Funeral Home. And when we told them why we were calling, they decided that they too wanted to know where are Kendrick Johnson's organs, and they wanted to know more about this process, this practice of stuffing bodies with newspaper, something that they'd never heard of either.
How was the family's autopsy doctor able to determine the cause of death then?
Yeah, I asked him, if the organs aren't there, how can you determine how Kendrick died? Well, he says that Essentially, blunt force trauma was not in the organs, it was in the right side jaw, which was actually noted as bruised during the paramedics report on the day he was found. He dissected the jaw, which had not been dissected in the first autopsy, found bleeding under the skin. He dissected the left side as well, did not find the bleeding, and he concluded that that bruising indicated, also with the bleeding, that there was blunt force trauma, that Kendrick took that blow to the neck.
You know, Victor, one thing I hadn't noticed, and actually a viewer who works in gyms noticed and tweeted me about this the other day, was that it looks like all the mats are rolled really tightly, except for the one that Kendrick was found in. That seems to have had a large opening.
Oh my God. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Very sad, y'all. Very, very, very sad. The way they did him and just stuffed him with Black Friday bags. Shit, they might as well say ShopRite bags, Walmart bags, Audi bags, all type of shit. That is so disrespectful. They don't give a damn. But let it be one of their kids, man. I just don't understand where they get off with being so cruel to a. Would they do it if they was their kids? No, they wouldn't. They just see us as a piece of trash. So they packed us with the trash. What the fuck? Come on now. And they think this is okay, and they don't expect the family not to want justice? They don't expect us content creators not to keep talking about stuff like this? And they wonder why some people are prejudiced. Let's see what Cherish is talking about before we end it. She hopping on here like emergency 911 and shit. Child. Girl, I said I will call you when I'm done. But no, she hopped on here and had to disrupt my live. So we gonna see what you gotta say, boo-boo. No, we gonna see what you have to put up. Let me see what she got. Let me see. Let me see what she got to do. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, there's a missing girl too. I gotta. All right, what is she talking about over here? Seven people found pow to death in Jola illness. Police journalists were urgently searching for a suspect. What the hell? What is this? Armed and dangerous suspect is breaking now. All right, let me see what we got over here. Says she come flying over here like the 911. Girl. I shouldn't even have to, hold on. Maybe I could just go back to Kendrick and use that one. It might be on YouTube. Oh, I could just use your link, but let me see. What's his name? Okay, here we go. Ooh, damn. Let's see.
Oh, hi. This financial services company counts on CrowdStrike for all their cybersecurity needs. But
good to have you with us here at 5.
Okay. His name is Romeo Nance. It's most definitely on YouTube. Look. She is going crazy over this, y'all. Look at this. Look at her. Oh my God. She come busting in here like the 911 or something. All right, we got you, girl. We got you. Hang on tight. Hang on.
5 o'clock, I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Erica Sargent. We begin here with breaking news. 4 crime scenes and 1 armed and dangerous suspect on the run.
A chilling story unfolding in Joliet. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey is live near 2 of the scenes, piecing together what happened. Megan?
Right, Joe and Erica, we still have very few details about what exactly happened here and how it could be connected to those 2 shooting scenes yesterday, but we do know that multiple people were found dead on this block right behind me. We're in the 2200 block of West Acres Road. But you can see that there are Joliet police on the scene here, crime scene unit. We're told that it involves 2 homes that are right across the street from each other, but we are still waiting for more details on exactly what happened. I do want to start, though, with this photo. Joliet police said they are looking for a man named Romeo Nance, who they believe is driving a red Toyota Camry with the license plate Q730412. And police say his car was seen at those 2 different shooting scenes yesterday. They believe he could somehow be connected to this scene today, but that has not been explained yet. We can tell you from Nance's prior arrests that he is also listed at an address on this street as his home address when he was arrested for aggravated discharge of a weapon involving a woman. And court records show Nance might have been out on bond for that case. That case is still awaiting trial. We've spoken to several distraught neighbors who have come here, obviously very disturbed by this violence and disturbed by what seems to be the very strange and random nature of these crimes.
It's frightening that this is so close to home. I literally live like probably 4 houses down, and I have a young daughter, and it's crazy. This is a neighborhood. There's a park right down the street. It's crazy that there are young kids that get off the bus right here.
Now, as for those incidents yesterday, we know a 28-year-old man was shot and killed at the Pheasant Run Apartments. Around the same time, a 42-year-old man was shot in the leg, fortunately sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Again, police said the victims in those 2 shootings are not connected to each other in any way, and those incidents appear to be random in nature. Right now, again, we don't know exactly how they're connected to the crime scene behind me, but we're supposed to get updates from Joliet Police Department coming up at 6. We'll, of course, bring those to you as soon as possible. For now, live in Joliet, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 investigators.
We'll see you at 6, Megan. Thank you.
Hold on, let me get something else from his behind. Let's see.
Rob and Judy, investigators have been on scene on this residential block since early afternoon after making a gruesome discovery in 2 homes. And now there's an active manhunt underway for a person considered armed and dangerous. Police at this hour are seeking an individual by the name of Romeo Nance. Authorities releasing a photo of Nance, and they say he may be driving a red Toyota Camry. Joliet police responding this afternoon to the 2200 block of West Acres Road. That's on the west side of Joliet. Authorities say multiple people were found shot to death in 2 homes on that block. Police have not said exactly how many victims there are and what may have led to the gunfire, but an active investigation is now underway. Again, that person people are seeking, identified as Romeo Nance, and investigators also releasing images of the car he's believed to be driving. Again, a red Toyota Camry with license plate number Q730412. That's Q730412. Police also asking that anyone with information call Joliet Police. And again, Nance should be considered armed and dangerous. We're live in Joliet. Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Okay.
That's crazy. So,
Robin, Judy, and
so this man pow 7 people in two houses. He's on a rampage. They need to find him and get his ass off the street. Get him off the street, honey. Did he know these people? He probably knew them, yeah, I guess, but according to authorities, at around 4:27 p.m., deputies responded to a pow at the apartments in unincorporated Julia Township, found a man bleeding down from his head with a apparent gunshot wound. Victim was transported to area hospital where he was later pronounced unalive. Wow, so one person's already unalive. The 28-year-old man has yet to be identified by the Will County Coroner's Office, so we don't know who he is. But what about the other ones? The other one was 42 years old, and he was pow in the leg, so he's gonna make it. Police said the victims in the two pows weren't connected though, and both incidents appeared to be random. The same vehicle, however, was present at both crime scenes just prior to both pows. That's very interesting. That's very, very strange. That's very, very, because they're saying that the police said the victim and the two shooters weren't connected, and both incidents appeared to be random. But the same vehicle, however, was present at both crime scenes. The 28-year-old name is Takshi Baker. Yes, 911 caller, Cherish Queen. Not connected to relations to the suspect. Oh, got you, 911 caller. Okay. But thank you. That you know I'm messing with you, right, girl? Damn, he is like, why he's on a rampage. They better get this motherfucker off the street before he take other lives. Somebody know where he hiding at. He hiding in probably his girl house. He's hiding in his girl's house or probably a family member house. Sorry, love your face. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I keep disconnecting myself, y'all. Hold on, let me see something. Let's see if we can find something else on this animal. Cause he is an animal. He ain't no human. He taking out people like a mother effer. He's he's on a rampage, y'all. Manhunt. Look at him. He all over the news. Oh, it's happened in Illinois too. Ooh, child. Ooh, 20 minutes ago. Let's see this one. 20 minutes ago. This one was 20 minutes ago. Let's see what they have to say.
Included. Earn points with At approximately 12:04 this afternoon, the Joliet Police Department was notified by the Will County Sheriff's Office of an incident here in the 2200 block of West Acres.
Hey, Karen.
This incident included several deceased
There's a
persons
manhunt
in
going
two
around,
separate
girl.
residences. A total of 7 people were found shot to death in these 2 locations.
I don't think so either,
We
Cherish.
are working very closely with our partners at the Will County Sheriff's Office to locate a suspect in this homicide.
They're going to take his ass out.
On behalf of the Joliet Police Department and the Will County Sheriff's Office, our hearts go out to the victims' families of this heinous crime.
Yup, manhunt, girl.
We will do everything in our power here at the Joliet Police Department to bring the person responsible for this to justice. We are currently looking for a suspect by the name of Romeo Nance. Nance is 23 years old. He's 6'2", 160 pounds. He's an African-American male. His last known address was right here in the 2200 block. If you have any contact with this suspect, please contact your local authorities. Do not attempt to take this subject into custody on your own.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow.
In Illinois. He is a damn clown. We got to find out why he did this dumb shit. Why he do this? That's 2 hours ago. 1 hour ago. 4 months ago.
Did somebody say Grubhub?
Nothing beats Grubhub delivering the fam's favorite meal.
We are following breaking news. A manhunt is underway in Joliet after several.
Oh man, what the fuck are you? Sorry. I'm getting tired, I think, y'all, because I'm just hitting buttons and
people were found dead in homes on this block behind me. We're at West Acres in Madison. We'll take a look right now. We know that they were found in 2 homes, and Joliet police told us off camera those 2 homes are directly across the street from each other, but we haven't had any more details on those crime scenes. As you can see, Joliet police, their crime scene unit on the scene right now, actively investigating. Joliet police said the discovery was made this afternoon, and it appears connected in some way to the shooting death of a 28-year-old man at Pheasant Run Apartments yesterday. Around the same time yesterday, a 42-year-old man was shot in the leg. That was a non-life-threatening injury, but police said that the victims in those 2 shootings are not connected to each other in any way. Those incidents appeared to be random in nature. Joliet police said they're looking for a man named Romeo Nance. He is believed to be driving a red Toyota Camry with license plate Q730412. That car seen at both crime scenes. Now, we're still waiting for more details about this scene behind us, exactly what happened and how it could be connected to those other 2 incidents yesterday. We're told that Joliet police will be addressing those questions coming up at 6 p.m. So we'll stay tuned. But for now, we're live. Megan Hickey, CBS 2 Investigators.
Megan, thank you.
Now we want to show you Romeo Nance's picture one more time. Remember, he is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach. Immediately call police.
And we ain't gonna approach his crazy ass. We ain't dumb now. What's his name again? Juliet Home. 2 Juliet. We were not, he's a baby. That's what I'm saying. He's so young. So young. Unbelievable. All right, hold on. Let's see, y'all. Let's see what Facebook got. Okay. Police say, okay, we know that. The shooting was previously considered random. However, 28 years old Tuscas Baker lost his life as a result of the Sunday afternoon pow. Okay, so like they said, something happened Sunday afternoon. 10 minutes prior to Baker being pow, a 42 years old man was pow in the leg, which we talked about. There is no connection between the Sunday victim. Little is known about the Monday victim, and we will update when information becomes available. Please be safe. We have many files. Okay, you know what? So hold on. So this fool, Sunday, he went on a pow mission and then came back today and did the same thing? What is this over? Drugs, money? Because he's young, so it got to be over. It ain't over no chick. Because if it is, you're a damn fool. So it's got to be over drugs and money. Because they Sunday and then today. Mm.
Try to make contact with the registered owner of the vehicle.
For just clarity in terms of victims' homes, the two homes involved 4 people inside one home, 3 in the other. What's the exact breakdown?
5 and 2.
5 and 2.
Chief, is there any indication how long these people have been?
I don't have that indication.
Romeo
The
Nance.
autopsy is still pending. That's something I can't comment on.
You believe he's still in the area?
That's not something we can comment on.
What are you advising residents to do as the night grows longer? Should they be concerned?
Well, obviously, with a crime of this magnitude, with this heinous act, we are putting everything in our power to bring this individual to justice, and we are telling individuals to remain vigilant and stay safe.
Just for clarity, after yesterday's crimes, you guys identified your guys and you staked out his house here, his last address, hoping he would come back. Never did, and at one point you threw suspicious, so you knocked on the door and found people.
That is correct.
Yeah, as far as we know, we're thinking Nance is alone, right? We don't think he has anybody else.
I'm not going to comment.
Set up. Switching my leg.
the relationship, I can't 100% say, but they are known individuals. Names.
I can't sit that long, y'all. I can't sit that long. I can't stand that long.
It
hurts.
Again, stated very clearly that this is a evolving investigation. It is all of our goals, to have more information as time progresses, and when it is appropriate to release that information, we will be happy to do that. So again, just echoing the words of the chief and deputy chief is to stay vigilant and provide that information the best we can, and we can do that with your help. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
That's what they had to tell us. They do better than that, baby. That's what they had to tell us. They do better than that, baby. Oops. That's what they had to tell us. Where y'all at? Oh God. They do better than that, baby. Oops. That's what they had to tell us. Where y'all at? Oh God. They do better than that, baby. Oops. That's what they had to tell us. Where y'all at? Oh God. They do. Okay.
At approximately 12:04 this afternoon, the Joliet Police Department was notified by the Will County Sheriff's Office of an incident here in the 2200 block of West Acres. This incident included several deceased persons in 2 separate residences. A total of 7 people were found shot to death in these 2 locations. We are working very closely with our partners at the Will County Sheriff's Office to locate a suspect in this homicide. On behalf of the Joliet Police Department and the Will County Sheriff's Office, our hearts go out to the victims' families of this heinous crime. We will do everything in our power here at the Joliet Police Department to bring the person responsible for this to justice. We are currently looking for a suspect by the name of Romeo Nance. Nance is 23 years old. He's 6'2", 160 pounds. He's an African-American male. His last known address was right here in the 2200 block. If you have any contact with this suspect, please contact your local authorities. Do not attempt to take this subject into custody on your own.
Hey, Shay.
Thank you.
All right. I hope they find his behind.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Jungles, Deputy Chief of the Will County Sheriff's Office. Will County Sheriff's Office has been working this investigation since yesterday when a shooting occurred in our jurisdiction at 5 Pheasant Run Lane in unincorporated Joliet Township. Our officers responded to that resident or to that area for a person found with blood coming out of his head, and upon deputies' arrival, they located a gunshot wound. He was transported from that area to a local area hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The victim in our incident has been identified as Toyosai Bakar. That's Toyosi, first name, last name Bakar, Bakare. He's 28 years old. He is originally from Nigeria and has been living in the Will County area for the past 3 years. Early on in this investigation, we were able to identify a suspect vehicle to our homicide, which coincided with a earlier shooting that happened in Joliet approximately 10 minutes prior to our report. We were able to locate various information on our suspect and search the area for this suspect vehicle.
Wow.
All attempts to locate the suspect have been negative at this time, and the Will County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public help along with the Joliet Police Department in locating this suspect. At this time, at approximately 12 a.m. early today, our officers set up surveillance in this area, an attempt to locate the vehicle, which yielded negative results. At approximately 8:45, at approximately shortly before noon this morning, our officers then went to a residence, located blood outside of the residence, and made entry where they found 2 deceased individuals.
Shit.
And that's when we contacted the Joliet Police Department regarding this incident. That's about all the information I have at this time. Thank you very much.
7 caskets, 8 caskets, 8 caskets, 8 grieving mothers, 9 grieving parents, because his parents gonna be grieving too when they lose his behind, or his behind gotta do life in jail. Wow. Insane, right, Katie? On the live, all those people yesterday, and they just sat around. Beyond insane. Beyond insane, my 911 caller, Cherish. Yes. My 911 caller. Emergency 911 caller at that. She don't play. She 911 up in there. Much love though, princess. Okay, y'all. We started at 8. 9, 10. Oh, another 3 hours and change. Lord have mercy. Somebody on Facebook commented, this is a 3 from the video yesterday. This is a 3-hour video. Do you have anything else where it's just phone numbers and pictures? I said, yes, you can go on my playlist and check for shorter videos. Oh, God. Baby. I mean, watch it, don't watch it. What the hell? Somebody new that joined Brooklyn Squad said to me today, I said to her, how did you like my live yesterday? Because it was her first time joining. She said, I like it. She said, you're good talking to people and everything. She said, but I don't understand how you don't have the support, like why you're not bigger than you should be. I said, you know what? Somebody else said the same thing and I don't know. She said, because you are really good. Like I'm good. You know, your stuff is good. And I've been doing this for 2 years and change. And we got what, 5 people in here? I work so hard at what I do and I'm not broad. I mean, I'm growing now, you know, we almost up to 2,000 subs when we only got to 1,000 very fast. But I mean, we just got to 1,000. So we are growing, but I don't know. My thumbnails are looking better for sure, because my thumbnails used to look not bad, not good. I'm on here every single day. I'm trying to stick to a Pacific time, but you can't always do that because sometimes times could change and this and that. But I'm trying my best. I think once I get my podcast going again, you know, because I do have a podcast. And if you don't know, let me send it and put it in my thing. And I need to get back on my podcast again. Yeah, I definitely need to get back on my podcast again. You guys. Let me see how I can share this. Oh, no, wrong one. I don't know, I did it before. I don't know what's going on now. Oh, you know what? I could do it like this. Anyway, I'll send it to y'all individually, I guess. I don't know. I am on Spotify. Brooklyn Squad True Crimes. I'm trying to see if I could send it to you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why I'm not where I'm at. I really don't understand that. You know? But a lot of people also pay for their subs and their views also. And that's no shade. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at people. Do what you gotta do. I even thought about that shit at one time. You know what I'm saying? But then I said, I don't want to do that. I want everyone to be real subscribers, real views. Even if it's one view, even if it's one sub, I just want that to be real. I want to know that I work hard from the zero ground up. So that's another reason I forgot to tell her that. If she's on here, Karen, if you're still on here, a lot of people pay for their subscribers and their views. You probably didn't know that, but so if you wonder why that person, it was zero there and then now they piled the next day. I know, but they do buy it. I know a few now that bought some views and subs. A few of our peoples. Well, not our peoples, well, y'all people, sorry. My bad. Ooh. But yeah. So I just wanted to be like, you know, none of that. And I thought of it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about that shit when the shit was getting real hard. And I'm grateful I had people tell me don't do that because you want real people. You want people to know like you worked your hard. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And fuck it. If I have to get one view or two views, it is what it is. I know that that's a real person doing that view. If I got one subscriber, two subscribers, I know that that's a real subscriber. I ain't pay for shit. And look what happened. Katie. Katie. I know why Katie laughed. But look what happened. We got 148 subs, almost 150. And we just got, I said 150. I'm tired. I'm getting tired, y'all. 1,050 almost. And I just reached 1,000 not too long ago. So it's a process, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I'd rather have it this way than know that a computer is doing my likes and thumbs and commenting when I'm doing a crime with talking about a missing person. Huh? No way. It is? What? So more people subbed. Look at that. 1,050. And when I looked at it, it was 1,046, 1,045. Wow. Then that was earlier before I got on here, Shay Shay. We was at 145 around there. Yeah. Wow. God is good. God is good. God is good. Hey, Barbara. So young. What is going on with our youth? I know. And you know something, Barbara, their organs were removed. Their organs were taken out. Yeah. Their organs were missing. 2 of them boys' organs were missing. But like I was saying though, yeah, Shay, God is good, man. God is good. And I know that it's a process, and I'd rather have it like this because I can tell when someone pays for their shit, because you could talk about crime and then someone in the audience would be like, oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm going on vacation today. You could be the president of the United States. Like, bitch, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the organs being removed, and you're in the comment section talking about I could be the president of the United States? That's when you know that they shit with, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, oh, I'm going to the beach today. That was beautiful. What is beautiful about someone being murdered? Like, that's the paid views, like, because that's the computer. That's the computer shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the computer views. That's the computer subs. So I don't want that. I don't want that in my comments. I don't want when I'm talking about shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah. So it's all good if I have to have 0 subs. I work my way up. I work my way up because it's real. It ain't paid for. It's real. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the ones that stuck and stayed. And I'm going to keep saying that because if it's no me without y'all, like it's a we thing. We riding this together. So I'm so grateful. And I'm going to continue to do my videos because y'all rock with me. I rock with y'all and the victims' families. We got to get these cases out. And as long as y'all here rocking with me and showing love to the family, yeah, that's what it's about. I have to fix my thumbnail for tomorrow because I forgot to put a young lady's face on there, and I have her down on my paper, and I took her picture but forgot to put it on the thumbnail. Exactly. She plays the game fair and square. Right. Right. Thank you, Katie. Right. We real right, exactly, Shay. Right. There's no computers. Oh God. But tomorrow, I gotta wait till y'all hear tomorrow. Yeah. And we talked about this young lady before. Y'all gonna be shocked because y'all gonna be like, Brooklyn, you talking about her again? Oh, okay. So I gotta fix it. I gotta put her on my thing. And then there's a new case we're talking about tomorrow, and it's actually one of my new subscribers from Facebook. It's her best friend. Yeah, it's her best friend, one of her friends, and it's an unsolved case. So we're going to talk about him. Maybe I'll have her on the platform so she could talk about him a little bit. I'm going to ask her because she be busy a lot. Yeah, it's her friend, and it's unsolved. So she told me about him, and I was like, do you mind if I talk about his story? You know what I mean? I can't find much about him, but we still could bring him up, and maybe she'll fill me in with it, you know? And then we got some females that needs to be brought out more because, well, y'all can see the thumbnail, right? Y'all see it. It's already up for tomorrow. It's that one female that I got to put on there. And when y'all see that, y'all going to be like, ooh, boop, do, 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 do. Yeah. But let me go, y'all, because y'all know I got to shorten this stuff up and put it on TikTok. And that takes hours, as I say every day. Be careful out there. Much love. Watch your surroundings. And if y'all got any cases, send it to my Facebook Messenger and hit me up with it. I got you. All right? I will definitely cover it. With that, much love. I adore y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. And please be safe. Please. All right? Everyone have a good night. Night, night, y'all.